Welcome to Spirit Talks, because your spirit talks to you.
Hello and welcome to Spirit Talks. I'm Susie Beiler.
And I'm Maximilliam Haver.
In this episode, we are talking about soul aspects.
Thanks for joining us and enjoy.
Max, what is a soul aspect?
Well, as far as I've come to understand it, and this has been quite recently, is that a soul aspect is a fragment or part of your soul that is somewhere in creation experiencing whatever it's experiencing and embodying whatever part or aspect of energy it is of your being. And so your soul is quite expansive in many universes and dimensions and times and spaces. And so different qualities or different gifts can be certain aspects that are in different places in creation, as well as different embodiments in different beings. Do you want to elaborate on that?
I understand a soul aspect to be like a facet of your soul. So I tend to think of it less in terms of a fragment than just more like a facet. And your soul aspects can be scattered and unintegrated, or they can be very integrated in your being. One of the turning points for me in my life, actually within this past year, was when I understood the concept of integrating all your soul aspects from the standpoint of your current physical incarnation as a human being the aspect that's in charge of all the other ones. And so what I actually did was I called forth all of my soul aspects, and I had a little conversation with them, and I let them know that in this reality here and now, that I was now in charge of all my soul aspects, and that they would be in full support of my mission here on Earth. And that was one of the things that caused a big shift in my life. And it's one of the things that Prime Creator has talked about and invited us all to do. I noticed that some people are very scattered, and they suffer with a lot of illness and disease, or their cognition is all over the place. They're not clear. They have a hard time kind of grounding to the planet, or they have a hard time, receiving prosperity into their life or paying bills or whatever it is. And I'm beginning to see a pattern that these people that are in such struggle don't have that beautiful integration of all their soul aspects. And then the people that you see that have the true power, the beautiful power of the soul, and they're in their full expression on this planet, and they're giving and receiving, and they're in this beautiful flow, they have a deeper integration of their soul aspects. And so it's something that I'm still learning about, but I did want to bring it to this conversation because it is very valuable to be able to have an understanding about this so that we can really harness all of our true power and our energies here in this reality.
Yes, intention to focus your energies and gifts and talents and skills through those soul aspects. And to be aware that depending on your path and role in soul contracts, it might be your path to be fragmented. And this could be working as bridging energy between two or more places, or it can be divine timing that's in alignment for integrating these aspects. So it varies for every person, and not to be frustrated if your intentions aren't coming to fulfillment quite as you. And so with that, is there any way to connect with and become aware of what aspects we are connecting with?
Well, it starts with that intention. You make that intention to gain a larger understanding, and you ask. You ask Source, you ask your soul aspects, you ask your higher self, where am I? Where are all my soul aspects? What's going on? and you can get a deeper understanding. That's something that I've addressed in some channeling sessions with a few clients. And most light workers have soul aspects like in so many different realms and realities. And just because that's the case doesn't mean they can't be integrated. You can be very integrated in the here and now and still have many soul aspects working, doing their part in many other realms and realities. And then for the first time, I worked with a client the other day that had most of his soul aspects here and most in another galaxy because he was serving as a very strong bridge. So I'm starting to see how it can be very unique for everyone depending on their path and their purpose.
So it's not like putting together a jigsaw puzzle, it's more like angling mirrors together. So they're all in different places, but when they align, it creates a much stronger focus of energy.
I hadn't thought of it that way. My understanding is that the puzzle is already together, if we're using that analogy. We just might not be aware of and harnessing the power of all our soul aspects. So those people I described earlier who are scattered and suffering or sick all the time or whatever it is, their puzzle might be together, but they're not understanding how to truly harness their power. It's a discussion to think about and play with and try to uncover some truth here because, personally, I'm kind of at the beginning of this understanding, I feel. I feel like there's so much more to understand about it.
Interesting.
I'm wondering if any of our listeners have any knowledge or experience with this that they would like to share. I would welcome comments.
Seems like these would be good questions to ask in a channeling if you're seeking out assistance in discovering these things for yourself.
Absolutely. Yeah. And perhaps we could even ask in a general channeling, we could get more information for everyone about how this works.
That might be good.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you'd like to share on your ideas about soul aspects?
We recently did an episode where we talked about soul contracts. And I feel that topic is relevant here because if we haven't fully released those contracts that are complete, some of our soul aspects might be caught up in that. And so I feel like these two conversations go hand in hand. When you release those soul contracts that are complete, then you can allow those soul aspects to be integrated in the here and now and harness the power of those aspects to fulfill your mission here on this planet.
Yes. Well, it will be quite the journey as we see how our discovery about this topic unfolds.
Absolutely. So I welcome your comments if you have insights about this, if you have personal experiences you'd like to share. And if you have questions, I think we will. We'll do a channeling with Prime Creator about this topic. So if you have specific questions that you want to know, not personal questions, but questions about soul aspects that you'd like to ask, feel free to post those in the comments as well so we can do a channeling session about this. Thanks everyone for joining us. I'll see you in the next episode.
May you be integrated, whole, and complete, and fully in your power to fulfill your heart's and soul's desires.